Hey everyone, welcome to Tutort Academy. So my name is Chirag Vaishnav, and in this video we will be solving edit distance problem. So it is a very standard problem, and again it's a hard problem on Leetcode. So we are moving from medium to hard problems on dynamic programming because we have done some decent problems, and it's now time to level up the sleeves and move up, right? So what we will be doing in this, right? So this is the main question. So what we will be doing is we will be solving a question, building up on the things that we have learned. Like we have solved wildcard matching problem, we have solved longest common subsequence problem, and now moving up the ladder, we are solving edit distance problem. Right. So what will be the flow of this video? First, we will be discussing the problem statement. Then we will be discussing the logic that we'll be building behind it, and then we'll be moving up to the code part. Right. So let me just head over to the problem statement. So it simply states that you are given two strings, word1 and word2, and you have to return the minimum number of operations required to convert the word1 to word2, right? And what are those operations? Those operations are either you can insert a character, either you can delete a character, and either you can replace a character. So it question might make you remember that okay, once we did a wildcard matching problem, and it was kind of same that you have to convert the pattern to the strings, and in the pattern you're having either star or a question mark. In the case of question mark, what you can do, you can replace that character with every character, any character that is possible. And with the help of star, what you can do, you can either make it space, or either make it a character, either make it a sequence of characters. So we will solve it in that manner only, right? But there will be slight modifications in our logic, right? Because each problem is having its own uniqueness, and we have to solve it according to that. So this will be a main part. So in this you can see that we are having example of horse and rose. So what will be the three things that you have to change? So suppose if I started right, so what you have to do, you have to in order to convert the word1 to word2, you have to replace h with r, right? It become rose. Then you have to become remove r, that it become rose, and then you have to remove e as well, right? So it become rose. So what you have to do, you have to convert word1 to word2, right? So this is the main problem that we are facing right now. So what you have to do, you have to find the logic for it, right? So let me just sort it down for you. Let me just open up the presentation for you. Right, so suppose I'm having a string horse and I'm having Ross. What you have to do, you have to convert word1 to word2. And how you have to convert? You have to convert word1 to word2. Either you can insert a character, either you can delete a character, either you can insert a character, either you can delete a character, either you can replace a character, right? So suppose if I'm here, suppose if I'm here, so now again how you have to sort down the cases, how you have to sort down the cases. If suppose I'm starting with here, suppose if I'm starting with here, right? So from the while reading with the help of that human brain that we are having, we simply know that what you have to do, you have to first convert that h to r, so it will be roars first, right? Now what you have to do, you have to go here. What you have to do, you have to go here, you have to remove that r, so it will be Ross here. And what you have to do, you have to remove this e, that it will be Rose here, and we will be having a final answer. But how does our algorithm will know, how does the computer will know that okay, you have to first like insert, first you have to replace r, then you have to delete r, then you have to delete e? How will the computer know this? What you have to do, you have to write some algorithm for it, right? So what will be the algorithm, what will be the basic steps? Because again, dp on strings, that such big questions on strings are basically on dp only, right? So with the help of dynamic programming only you have to solve it. So how we will be solving it, or how we will be moving further, it will with it will be the case that okay, if the first character is equal to the first character, or whatever the character I si, suppose it's s and p, so we have to make the string to the pattern, right? So if si equals pi, then what you have to do, okay, they are equal, no need to change, let's move further, let's move further. Else, if they are not equal, because we have discussed these kind of questions, we have solved longest common subsequence, we have solved wildcard, we have solved edit distance also, right? So these are the questions that are working on this logic only, so I will not go deep dive into it. So link to them problems you will find in the playlist, so do check them out. I have explained beautifully there, right? So if they're equal, what we will be doing is, suppose the length, suppose the character is I for s and j for p. So if they're equal, if si equals pj, then what we will be doing is, we will be suppose let's say ed I plus 1 j plus 1, because they are equal, no need to check for them. Else, if they are not equal, if they are not equal, so what the question signifies us, because with the human brain we know that, okay, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this, but these are the three things that we have to perform, and out of them we have to find it, okay, what will be the most beneficial for us, right? This is only the way we have to go. So suppose if I insert here, I'm here and I inserted here, right? So suppose I'm here, right, and I inserted some character here, won't I be still here only? I inserted one character here, but I am still at h, right? So it will be ed of I and j plus 1. Why j plus 1? Because if I inserted some character, considering that I am inserting optimally, and obviously I will insert optimally only, so I will try to match one of the p. And if this and this is being matched, so in this case I can move further. In this case I can move to O. But in this case, because I inserted one character, I still have to be at the previous character only, right? So this will be the case for insert. Now let's say delete. If I deleted this, won't I be moving further? But if I'm deleting this, I will be moving further. But in this case, I was at R. Will I be moving to O? No. Because I have deleted this, and considering I deleted optimally, I deleted it only because they're not equal, and obviously the condition is that they're not equal, so I deleted it so that I can move to the next case. So it will be I plus 1 j. We deleted it. Now the third case is replace. So, and if you know that in this case we have only replaced it, right? So they are not equal, right? So what we did, I replaced h to r. So now this r and this r are matching. So can I move further? Yes, you can move further in both of them. So it will be I plus 1 and j plus 1. So it might remind you of the wildcard problem that we solved, right? So these will be the three basic problems. So what we will be doing is, either if they're equal, we will be calling it further for that, and if they're not equal, we will be taking these three and minimum out of it, minimum of all three plus 1. Why? Because in all these operations, what we will be doing, we will be finding minimum. Either I can insert, either I can delete, or either I can replace. We can't perform all the operations simultaneously, so what you have to do, you have to take one at a time. So I will take minimum out of 3, because I need minimum number of operations to convert that string to pattern, right? So what I will do, I will take minimum of all 3 plus 1, minimum of all 3 plus 1, and what will be the base cases if any of the string becomes empty, right? So what will be the base cases? Suppose if my string becomes empty, I have to convert that string to pattern. And if my string becomes empty, so I cannot move it further. Right? So in this case, what you have to do, you have to return okay, not possible, right? And if my pattern is empty, then you have to return okay, this is possible. If my pattern becomes empty, okay, this is possible. Because if the pattern is empty, it simply means that you have traversed the whole thing and you are at the end, right? So this will be the simple base cases. Now let's move to the code. I've tried my best to explain you here, right? So in this you can see that if hi, so the base cases are there. So I just skipped two cases there, right? So that I can explain it here. So the rest of the base cases that if one of the string becomes empty, if one of the string becomes empty, then what we have to return? We have to return the length of the rest of the string, because suppose if I have to make Chirag, right, and I have made C and my string is empty now, right? So this was my pattern and this is my string. So my string is C and my pattern is Chirag. So my string is empty now. So what I have to do? If one of the string is empty, then I have to insert H, I have to insert I have to insert R, I have to insert A, I have to insert G. So these are the 5 insertions that I made. So what I have to return? I have to return this one. This whole part I have to insert in it, right? So this is the simple base case, right? So I hope you got it right now. So if any of the string becomes empty, what you have to return next into, like, return n+1 or return m+1. Else this is the basic DP memorization condition, that if it's not equal to -1, then return DP of n, because this simply means that we have calculated it previously as well. Now these are the things that we have discussed. If the characters are equal, then what you have to do? You have to return okay, do for m-1, l-1, check for the previous ones. Else what you have to do? You have to check for mn-1, m-1, and n-1, n-1. Simply state that insertion, deletion, and replace. And then you have to take minimum of all this and take +1 and store it in a DP array, and then you have to return it in the final function call. So this was the code. I hope you got it right. So for the code part, I have not discussed in that detail because I have discussed the logic in detail, and I'm definitely sure and I want you to try for the code, right? So if you like this video, to give a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel. If you're having any doubt, do ask in the comment section. I will definitely answer it. So thanks for